What's up? We back with another episode of 411 Uncut. Today, we got a very special guest in the building right now, the one and only Just Clay.
What's going on, sis? How you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm alright, blessed. Can't complain.
Hey, for sure, man. I see you blessed. You've been moving. You've been working. You've been having like a hell of a year. These past few years, you've been on go mode, and we gonna get into that.
Yeah,
Get into that.
Sure.
But first things first, man. Let everybody know what part of Cincinnati you from.
So originally, growing up, my mother from the North Avondale area, around Mitchell area. So
Okay.
spent a lot of my time there. In between time, my dad from the suburban, or he stayed out in the suburban area, Forest Park.
Okay.
So it was like a balance, I think through the week for school, I'm with mom's, then I go out to my dad's, then he get custody of me, then I'm back and forth. So between them two areas, North Avondale and Forest Park, Fairfield, probably a little bit in there too.
Okay, for sure. Now, what high school did you go to?
I went to Roger Bacon High School.
Wow, you was at Roger Bacon.
They usually shock everybody.
Roger Bacon is a really good school. That was a good school. If you went to Roger Bacon in Cincinnati, people was like, "Oh, this is
See, that was see, back then that's what we thought, but then now you look back, like it wasn't no different really than any other school. I mean, it's I guess relationships. You know people that's doing the good big things right now or whatever down the road, but back it don't. It's all the same. I wish I would have homeschooled, honestly.
Wow. Now, what was you into while you was in school? Any sports or anything like that?
So growing up, my parents kept me busy, so I played baseball. That was my best sport. Football, hoop, basketball too, until sophomore year of high school. Everybody got tall, so I had to really.
You said everybody got tall.
Everybody got tall. I'm getting shots blocked. It's a little harder. So I just stuck to the park recreation with hoop. So I mainly stuck with football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, was you really good in football? Was you?
That's what they say. I got some stats on Google. You could,
Oh wow.
just type in Reggie Clay. That's when that pop up. But yeah, I was nice. That's what they say.
Okay.
A couple records down there, Roger Bacon. I think I'm like what, third? Nah, the young boy that just went to UC, Corey Kiner, he broke my record and then the all-time. So I'm like third all-time rushing there or something on football.
Wow.
So yeah, I was all right.
Man, did you think to go to college? Did you go to college to try to pursue football more or anything like that?
Yeah, so initially I went to Central State for a year. My plan was to go from there to UC.
Right.
I had to go get my grades up for a semester. 2 semesters, a whole year basically.
Mm-hmm.
I got hurt though my freshman year, so they red-shirted me. And when that happened, I started partying, people started dying and everything else. So I I dropped out of school at that point in sports. So
Wow.
that's really how it happened for real.
Man.
Got injured, started partying. Instead of rehab, it was over.
Man.
It was over.
So it was kind of like, I ain't about to go through all this.
I had a chance, so I tore my labrum and my pec. So I was supposed to get 2 separate surgeries. So, that's what, I think like 6 months apiece. So in my head, I'm like, what? And then like I said, I started partying. I'm going to Icebreakers, Homecoming. I done started hanging with the people that I already done turned into stars on the team. So it was bad from there.
Now, during this time, when did you start rapping? Was rap a part of your life when you was in school and in high school, or when did you start getting into music?
So high school, no. Had to be maybe a year. I'm trying to think. 2000. So I'm at McDonald's at whatever point in time this is, and I'm just playing around. Me and my homie, we rap. He listening to me rap, but I don't think I really got into the booth until Pain, like a serious booth that was over there with X. And then shortly after was Moolah. So I say on a serious note, around 16 or 17 is when I really got like in a real studio environment, start making the music. So
Yeah, because I mean, your Pain movement here is really what caught my attention first. With you would literally have Pain shirts. You going around. It was really a movement. Tell me about what really started this Pain movement.
So it's really trauma, to be honest. When I first started it, it was really just for me. So I'm like trying to get through traumatic experiences, and it was like I'm learning the art way to kind of heal from this stuff too at this time. So that was really like my little, I'm trying to think, I don't want to say advice, that was really my leaf for real, to translate or roll over that pain. Then I seen what it was doing for other people, giving all them shirts away for free, people listening to my story. And it's like other people putting their stories with it. So now I think where I'm trying to take it is a more global network, and like all the way from the clothing to merch in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's deep. That's really what my name got started off of, that pain movement. Some people call me Pain, like the OGs like Miss Judy and them.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a big movement.
I appreciate it. But yeah, it's just something, man. People that's going through stuff. I mean, it's something that'll never stop also, you know.
Yeah.
We deal with this day in, day out. Just a way for me, I guess, artistically to kind of cover it up. Like, you know, or vent through it, I guess, you know.
Man, I mean, I remember seeing a video and I remember hearing a song and Cover the Pain, and I'm like, you know, I knew at that moment, I'm like, he's going through something.
Yeah.
Tell me what exactly transpired. I know that you were very vocal about having a brother that passed away. This was your older brother that passed away. He was killed by the police here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Open up to me about that situation and really what happened.
So what was I? So I remember I was working at Walmart at the time, right? So I get off early. I think one of his kids' mom had called me or something and was like, she said something you had to double take, like they got him or something, you know. And I got off the phone with her. I'm driving down Spring Grove. It happened at that car wash right behind Kroger's. So I really drove past the whole situation, not knowing, you know,
you didn't even know what was going on.
Like, yeah, so I get to the house. I'm like, boom. I called his girl back. She tell me I really can't like express no emotions at this point because my mama at work. She don't know. So his oldest son, who I think he just turned 18, he 5 at the time. He's sitting upstairs when I get in the house. I can't tell nobody. I'm just like, huh? My nephew watching the news, so he seen it first. He said, that's my daddy's car. They was showing his car, like on the news.
What?
So, you know, from that point on, basically what happened was he ended up getting shot. I think the truck had 50-something holes in it. His body, I think the autopsy, he had about 30. But they all from up, you know, waist up. So that's really what that was, him getting killed by them. Not diving into who was wrong, who was, you know, the whole overkill process, period. And his son being the first one, I guess, to, you know about it is what kind of, it threw me out for a long, long time. So that was really the first trauma I experienced, too. Up until that point, you know, people was dying, but I'm kind of like, you know, I'm crying because my granny crying or somebody else crying. But that was like, because, I mean, it put me in a whole nother role family-wise, you know. So he had like 4 or 5 kids. So I'm trying to raise all of them. But yeah, that's what that was. He got shot, killed. And this was like, I believe, a year before body cams, too. So it was kind of like the footage they had, or, you know.
Just a dash cam, more so than a body cam.
Yeah, and a lot of that, we had to, you pretty much, when you getting into it with them people or even trying to get justice, you either got to be extremely rich or you got to be like mentally, I don't know. My mama broke down from it. She ain't accept no money from them. So it was like, you know, them attorneys worked for them for real. So it got to a point where they pretty much ran her out the whole, it's a loss, you know what I mean? So they offered her, I guess you could call it be quiet money, like offered his kids to go to college and all that, but my mama just wouldn't. She like, it won't bring him back, you know what I mean? So I think he was supposed to go to jail that day for sure, but to be shot 30-something times by like, what was it, 8 cops, maybe 10, surrounding you in a fixed position, that's like murder. Overkill at the least, so.
Man.
That's what that was.
How old was he at the time?
This would throw me off. He would have had to have been, so he might have been just turned 30, to be honest. 29, 30 in that bracket, for real. I always been terrible with age, especially with him, because, you know, that's your big brother. Yeah. So he had to be around 30, because I was 20 at the time, so he was at least, he was 7, 8 years, he was about 30. So
man.
Yeah, he was 30, a fresh 30 though. He was at a 30 where it was pivotal growth wise, because like I said, there was so many little kids in our family that was looking to him. It's like it broke that whole molding process. But I done grown into it now though, so.
But you really had to put that energy, that pain you was feeling into something, and you said, I'm about to write this record.
Yeah, I had to. Is that or go do 30 years in prison? Or, you know, you be done took that type of energy out on somebody that ain't got nothing to do with it. So that particular song, yeah, that's exactly where that came from, honestly. I think that, then a couple other family members had passed away, so, but I think that was what allowed me to like be comfortable. Like, all right, it's cool, you don't gotta do it like this, drink it and all that shit. You can kind of come over here and put it on a song, play it back, and really see your growth in real time with it. So that's what that was.